5 lengths off the pace, which continues to be set by King's Gambit. He's just increasing the tempo fractionally, Callum Shepherd, as they reach the end of the back stretch. They're going inside the final 6.5, and it's King's Gambit dictating it by a length and a half to Royal Rhyme racing second. Single file traffic. Back in third is Passenger, and Alflaila still at the back of the forerunner field. Swinging the left-handed turn, then back down the side of the track they come, heading back towards the final 5 furlongs and about to swing into the home straight. King's Gambit still there by a couple, again just gradually increasing the tempo. Royal Rhyme in second. Passenger travels nicely still in third, so does Alflaila in fourth. Off the turn and levelling back down the home straight, 4.5 furlongs to go, and it's still King's Gambit is going to try and see them all off from the front. Leads up by a length to Royal Rhyme, switching to the near side. Over on the far side is Alflaila. Passengers now back in fourth position. Down the straight they come. Now they start to sprint inside the 3. King's Gambit let loose off the front by a half length to Royal Rhyme in second. Alflaila, last year's winner, in full cry, now in third, and Passenger's going to be delivered late by Richard Kingscote. Back inside the final 2 they come. King's Gambit lays it down to Royal Rhyme. Alflaila still trying to get upside, so too is Passenger, who's being delivered very late. Back towards the final furlong they come, all to play for here. Royal Rhyme scrapping away towards the near side of King's Gambit. Alflaila still trying hard. Over on the far side, Passenger. Inside the final half furlong they go. King's Gambit, Alflaila puts his head in front and repeats last year's win. Alflaila's won it again. Back in second was King's Gambit, Passenger behind, and then Royal Rhyme.
Yeah, for the second year in a row, Alflaila has won it for Owen Burrows Shadwell Estate, and Jim Crowley beats King's Gambit in second place for Harry Charlton and Callum Shepherd. Passenger third for Sir Michael South and Richard Kingscote, and last of the 4 was Royal Rhyme for Carl Burke and Clifford Lee. Unsatisfactory early gallop, they trotted round. Doesn't matter, this horse has won it for the second year in a row. The connection will be delighted.
Yeah, they went very steady early on. 15.03 was showing us the sectional for the second furlong, then 14.25, 13.99, 13.78, and it wasn't until the 7th furlong of the race that they went under 12 seconds, and the race started to really quicken up. That tempo was quickening, and then went under 11 seconds at the mile point of the race as well. So it was a very slow early gallop. They've sprinted really up the home straight in the final half mile, and Alflaila, to come from the back of the field and pick off the front runner, I think has done well.
Jim Crowley just moved off the bend, turning in to get in front of Passenger.
He did. He made his move a bit earlier than Richard Kingscote, didn't he? And ultimately Passenger travelled well, but he just couldn't quicken when he was let down. They all had a chance the way the race developed. It was a really good race between them, but King's Gambit has been seen to good effect, I think, today, because he was able to, albeit making his own running might not be ideal, but he was able to dictate very steady early fractions, and that must have helped him to some extent, because he did relax in front, and Alflaila has done well to run him down from the back. We touched earlier that he is a horse that has a bit of pace. He would be effective, I think, over slightly shorter Alflaila if they wanted to go back in trip, and given the way the race was run, we've seen that come to the fore.
Skybet, the sponsors of this race, have introduced them, or shortened them 12 from 16s for the International. He's also in the Irish Champion, where he went on the back of the success here last year.
Yeah, I think we know enough already to know that to win a Group 1 it'd need to be a subpar one, really, wouldn't it, for Alflaila? But he is very effective here at this track. He hasn't had a tough season, and he's well capable of running really well if he comes here for the Juddmonte International.
Yeah, and fractured cannonbone in his younger days and been given time, and Owen Burrows got him back here in peak condition. As we watch him trotting back in.
Dark Angel's had a lot of Group 1 horses as a stallion, but not many of them over this sort of trip, has he?
No, absolutely. He stays strong, but it was that move sort of turning in that Jim Crowley made. I really liked it off the crown of the bend to get closer, knowing that they were going to sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. It was probably key, really, in the end, that he didn't sit any longer right at the back of the field. He was happy to sort of move up on the turn, and he kept him in behind horses. Surprising that they came to the stand side, but they all had their chance. It wasn't too messy. And he's shown a good attitude, this horse, hasn't he?
Yeah, at least they all came to the stand side. Didn't split or anything crazy. But there he is, Alflaila, for the second time He's going to enter the winner's enclosure off the Skybet York Stakes, this Group 2 event. Richard Hill's on the far side. Owen Burrows is here. We'll try and catch up with him in due course, but in the meantime we'll head back to Angus and tie up the full result.
Well, it was an interesting race tactically. We thought it would be, but I never thought we'd get something that was run at such a crawl. I've never seen a finishing speed percentage of 122.59 for the winner, which means he was 22.59% quicker in the final 3 furlongs than the rest of the race. Wow. Alflaila, 9-4 joint favourite. King's Gambit, 5-2. Passenger, the other joint favourite, back in 3rd place. And the winning time was, if you think that a top-class horse on decent ground should be able to run just over 2 minutes for a mile and a quarter, this was 2:20.